faith, trust in the true story of the world. Not the story the world is telling us, and not the story that we are telling ourselves. Faith, trust in the true story of the world. You remember earlier I was reading, and we've got that section. Look at verse 19. He did not weaken in faith when he considered his own body, which was as good as dead, since he was about 100 years old, or when he considered the barrenness of Sarah's womb. The promise was the promise of a child. He didn't have an heir. But the promise was, you're not just going to get that heir, you're going to be the father of many people. You're going to be the father of many nations. You're going to be the father of peoples all over the world. And yet, he's 100 years old. And she's barren. See, that's the reality. That's what they face. That's what they look at. Look at verse 18. In hope, he believed against hope. New English Bible here again. When hope seemed hopeless, he hoped. In hope, he believed against hope that he should become the father of many nations. As he had been told, so shall your offspring be. Now, what in the world causes Abraham to believe that promise? He believed God. It wasn't what he saw in the mirror. Here was Abraham's summary of himself. You're as good as dead. His wife was barren. And yet, he believed what God had told him. This is what all of us have to do. I love Calvin here. Calvin says, let us also remember that the condition of all of us is the same as that of Abraham. All things around us are in opposition to the promises of God. He promises immortality, and we are surrounded with mortality and corruption. He declares that he counts us just. We are covered with sins. He testifies that he is propitious and kind to us, and outward judgments threaten his wrath all around. What then is to be done? We must with closed eyes pass by ourselves. Oh, that's so good. And all things connected with us, that nothing may hinder or prevent us from believing that God is true. We so want to believe ourselves most. We've got to always, every day, be reorienting the story that we're living on away from the story that the world tells us so that we would tell ourselves, and we've got to believe what God has said. Faith, trust in the true story of the world.